very visible. I mean, it's very apparent. For example, after the war in Ukraine, you saw how Russia, after facing severe blockade and economic embargo from European countries, especially led by or influenced by the decisions from the United States, they very quickly shifted their markets. So they found new markets. Who are the new markets? The new markets are in Saudi Arabia, the new markets are in China, and the new markets are in India. So it also shows that when you are rich in energy, your demand never diminishes, especially when the way the industrialization, so the new form of urban development is going on. So we need to know, first of all, what is energy politics. Before that, we need to remember this quote from Mahatma Gandhi, who said that there is enough on earth for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. That means, although we know from economics term that human beings and we as a human being, our demands are actually unlimited, and there is not enough in our disposal to satisfy our demands. So this is just another way of looking at it from the perspective of Gandhi. He said that the world has everything at its disposal, but probably not everyone demand. So this is the industrial energy and its demand focused until 2450 by energy source. So if you look at it, the demand for liquid fuels, which will continue to increase, I mean a gradual increase from 2020 to 2050, then the natural gas, then coal, then electricity, and obviously the renewable energy. So one thing that we need to do, not only to carve down our dependence on non-renewable energies, but also to mitigate climate change challenges, we need to increase our dependence on the last category, which is the renewable energy sources. But the reality is that we are still increasing our dependency on liquid fuels or fossil fuels. So since the Industrial Revolution, the geopolitics of energy, that means supplies and reliably secures energy at an affordable price, has been a driver of global prosperity and security. That means whoever has a sizable command over energy resources or energy reserves, they will have a big say in the global political economy. The political aspects of energy linked to the sources of supply and demand comes to public attention in moments of crisis. So from economics class, you know that the relationship between supply and demand, right? And also how it influences the price. So when the demand is high and the supply is low, then the price of a commodity will obviously go up. And the opposite happens when the supply is higher than the demand, the price will go down. So access to energy is critical to sustaining growth in China and India because they are the two main consumers of energy, non-renewable energy or fossil fuel in the global energy market. The United States is overly dependent and focused on oil, with consequent special attention to the Middle East. And many critics of United States foreign policy, they say that the war in Iraq and subsequent clash in Middle East was actually a plan that was chalked out in Washington to secure their energy for the next few decades or so. The European Union is highly reliant on imported gas, as you saw in the video. That's particularly Germany, which is located on Europe. It's largely dependent on the energy supply from the European countries, especially from Russia. So that makes Russia an important supplier, a factor in the US and in the European Union's energy policies, and raising tensions, particularly between the Central European states. And these tensions uh, reached a new level since the unfolding of war in Ukraine just a couple of years back. So before the onset of the 2008 financial crisis, I think you should have known about it. Yes, Sharir.
Sir, your voice is breaking up sometimes. There is some interference from your mic.
Is it okay now?
it's like it's okay, and then this noise that we get sometimes goes up, then we can't hear you. So it's
Okay, I'm sorry for, but I'm using the same setup that I always use. I don't know, probably there's some problem with the connection. It could be. Anyway, if it's clear now, then I think I should continue. So
yeah.
before the onset of the 2008 financial crisis, that means all of you know that the world had the largest or the biggest uh, economic crisis in the 20th century, which is we all know as the Great Depression, which started in 1929. So after that, in the 21st century, the biggest economic downfall was in 2008 when the financial market collapsed significantly or unprecedentedly in the recent times, obviously because of the unprecedented loans that many borrowing authorities gave to the private owners. So rising demand for oil soon after this crisis and gas imports and limited capacity to expand short-term supply drove up the prices, supplier wealth, and producer leverage, allowing producers such as Russia, Venezuela, and Iran to punch above their weight in regional and international politics. So that does mean that, I mean, it's the classical case of economics when the supply goes down and the demand goes up. And obviously, this time it was fueled by the financial because there was a shortage of capital on the global financial market. So traditional geopolitics considerations have become even more complex with the global climate change. Apart from the financial crisis, the climate change is just another addition of the complexities to the already volatile global energy market. Higher energy and carbon prices will make nuclear power a more attractive option in national energy strategies. And that's why, as you have seen, that say a half a decade back or so, Bangladesh decided to start its journey in the non-renewable energy field. So soon we'll see the implication of non-renewable energies in form of the nuclear power in our country's power sector. So what is an existential threat when it comes to the nuclear power? It's the risk of nuclear proliferation. That means how a country can actually shift its focus from peaceful use of nuclear power to an offensive use of nuclear power. That means using nuclear power for military purposes. So now we will look at the global energy market, particularly to the oil market, because the market is shallow, where the politics is very sharp. Before that, I'll show you one